Logistics is generally the detailed organization and implementation of a complex operation. In a general business sense, logistics is the management of the flow of things between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet requirements of customers or corporations. The resources managed in logistics can include physical items such as food, materials, animals, equipment, and liquids, as well as abstract items such as time and information. The logistics of physical items usually involves the integration of information flow, material handling, production, packaging, inventory, transportation, warehousing, and often security. In military science, logistics is concerned with maintaining army supply lines while disrupting those of the enemy, since an armed force without resources and transportation is defenseless. Military logistics was already practiced in the ancient world, and as modern military have a significant need for logistics solutions, advanced implementations have been developed. In military logistics, logistics officers manage how and when to move resources to the places they are needed. Logistics management is the part of supply chain management that plans, implements, and controls the efficient, effective forward and reverse flow and storage of goods, services, and related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet customers' requirements. The complexity of logistics can be modeled, analyzed, visualized, and optimized by dedicated simulation software. The minimization of the use of resources is a common motivation in all logistics fields. A professional working in the field of logistics management is called a logistician. Origins and definition. The prevalent view is that the term logistics comes from the late 19th century, from French logistique, and was first used by Baron de Jomini. Others attribute a Greek origin to the word lambda omicron gamma omicron sigma, meaning reason of speech, lambda omicron gamma iota of sigma tau iota kappa omicron sigma, meaning accountant or responsible for counting. The Oxford English Dictionary defines logistics as the branch of military science relating to procuring, maintaining and transporting material, personnel and facilities. However, the New Oxford American Dictionary defines logistics as the detailed coordination of a complex operation involving many people, facilities, or supplies, and the Oxford Dictionary Online defines it as the detailed organization and implementation of a complex operation. As such, logistics is commonly seen as a branch of engineering that creates people systems rather than machine systems. According to the Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals, logistics is the process of planning, implementing and controlling procedures for the efficient and effective transportation and storage of goods, including services and related information from the point of origin to the point of consumption for the purpose of conforming to customer requirements, and includes inbound, outbound, internal and external movements. Academics and practitioners traditionally refer to the terms operations of production management when referring to physical transformations taking place in a single business location, and reserve the term logistics for activities related to distribution, that is, moving products on the territory. Managing a distribution center is seen, therefore, as pertaining to the realm of logistics, since, while in theory the products made by a factory are ready for consumption, they still need to be moved along the distribution network according to some logic, and the distribution center aggregates and processes orders coming from different areas of the territory. That being said, from a modeling perspective, there are similarities between operations management and logistics, and companies sometimes use hybrid professionals with 4x director of operations, or logistics officer working on similar problems. Furthermore, the term supply chain management originally refers to, among other issues, having an integrated vision of both production and logistics from point of origin to point of production. All these terms may suffer from semantic change as a side effect of advertising. Logistics activities and fields. A basic distinction in the nature of logistics activities is between inbound and outbound logistics. Inbound logistics is one of the primary processes of logistics, concentrating on purchasing and arranging the inbound movement of materials, parts, and/or finished inventory from suppliers to manufacturing or assembly plants, warehouses, or retail stores. Outbound logistics is the process related to the storage and movement of the final product, and the related information flows from the end of the production line to the end user. Given the services performed by logisticians, the main fields of logistics can be broken down as follows. Procurement logistics consists of activities such as market research, requirements planning, make-or-buy decisions, supplier management, ordering, and order controlling. The targets in procurement logistics might be contradictory: maximizing efficiency by concentrating on core competences, outsourcing while maintaining the autonomy of the company, or minimizing procurement costs while maximizing security within the supply process. Distribution logistics has, as main tasks, the delivery of the finished products to the customer. It consists of order processing, warehousing, and transportation. Distribution logistics is necessarily because the time, place, and quantity of production differs with the time, place, and quantity of consumption. Disposal logistics has as its main function to reduce logistics cost and enhance service related to the disposal of waste produced during the operation of a business. Reverse logistics denotes all those operations related to the reuse of products and materials. The reverse logistics process includes the management and the sale of surpluses, as well as products being returned to vendors from buyers. Reverse logistics stands for all operations related to the reuse of products and materials. It is the process of planning, implementing, and controlling the efficient, cost-effective flow of raw materials, in-process inventory, finished goods, and related information from the point of consumption to the point of origin for the purpose of recapturing value or proper disposal. More precisely, reverse logistics is the process of moving goods from the typical final destination for the purpose of capturing value or proper disposal. The opposite of reverse logistics is forward logistics. Green logistics describes all attempts to measure and minimize the ecological impact of logistics activities. This includes all activities of the forward and reverse flows. This can be achieved through intermodal freight transport, path optimization, vehicle saturation, and city logistics. RAM logistics combines both business logistics and military logistics, since it is concerned with highly complicated technological systems for which reliability, availability, and maintainability are essential. Weapon systems and military supercomputers. Asset control logistics. Companies in the retail channels, both organized retailers and suppliers, often deploy assets required for the display, preservation, promotion of the products. Some examples are refrigerators, stands, display monitors, seasonal equipment, poster stands, and amp frames. Emergency logistics is a term used by the logistics, supply chain, and manufacturing industries to denote specific time-critical modes of transport used to move goods or objects rapidly in the event of an emergency. The reason for enlisting emergency logistics services could be a production delay or anticipated production delay, or an urgent need for specialized equipment to prevent events such as aircraft being grounded, ships being delayed, or telecommunications failure. Humanitarian logistics involves governments, the military, aid agencies, donors, non-governmental organizations, and emergency logistics services are typically sourced from a specialist provider. The term production logistics describes logistic processes within a value-adding system. Production logistics aims to ensure that each machine and workstation receives the right product in the right quantity and quality at the right time. The concern is with production, testing, transportation, storage and supply. Production logistics can operate in existing as well as new plants. Since manufacturing in an existing plant is a constantly changing process, machines are exchanged and new ones added, which gives the opportunity to improve the production logistics system accordingly. Production logistics provides the means to achieve customer response and capital efficiency. Production logistics becomes more important with decreasing batch sizes. In many industries, the short-term goal is a batch size of 1, allowing even a single customer's demand to be fulfilled efficiently. Track and tracing, which is an essential part of production logistics due to product safety and reliability issues, is also gaining importance, especially in the automotive and medical industries. Military logistics. In military science, maintaining one's supply lines while disrupting those of the enemy is a crucial, some would say the most crucial element of military strategy, since an armed force without resources and transportation is defenseless. The historical leaders Hannibal, Alexander the Great, and the Duke of Wellington are considered to have been logistical geniuses. Alexander's expedition, the longest military campaign ever undertaken, benefited considerably from his meticulous attention to the provisioning of his army. Hannibal is credited to have taught logistics to the Romans during the Punic Wars and the success of the Anglo-Portuguese army in the peninsula. War was due to the effectiveness of Wellington's supply system. Despite the numerical disadvantage, the defeat of the British in the American War of Independence and the defeat of the Axis in the African theater of World War II are attributed by some scholars to logistical failures. Military have a significant need for logistics solutions and so have developed advanced implementations. Integrated logistics support is a discipline used in military industries to ensure an easily supportable system with a robust customer service concept at the lowest cost and in line with reliability, availability, maintainability, and other requirements as defined for the project. In military logistics, logistics officers manage how and when to move resources to the places they are needed. Supply chain management in military logistics often deals with a number of variables in predicting cost, deterioration, consumption, and future demand. The United States Armed Forces categorical supply classification was developed in such a way that categories of supply with similar consumption variables are grouped together for planning purposes. For instance, peacetime consumption of ammunition and fuel will be considerably lower than wartime consumption of these items, whereas other classes of supply such as subsistence and clothing have a relatively consistent consumption rate regardless of war or peace. Some classes of supply have a linear demand relationship. As more troops are added, more supply items are needed, or as more equipment is used, more fuel and ammunition are consumed. Other classes of supply must consider a third variable besides usage and quantity: time. As equipment ages, more and more repair parts are needed over time, even when usage and quantity stays consistent. By recording and analyzing these trends over time and applying them to future scenarios, the U.S. Armed Forces can accurately supply troops with the items necessary at the precise moment they are needed. History has shown that good logistical planning creates a lean and efficient fighting force. The lack thereof can lead to a clunky, slow, and ill-equipped force with too much or too little supply.